Hello. I'm sure if you noticed that the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin gave a speech today in Kenya explaining our continued military partnership between the United States and Kenya. And this can be found here in the link that I'll be providing you below to the recording of the speech, to which I looked into and thought, you know, what exactly is going on between the United States and Kenya? We're already stretched kind of thin in this foreign conflict. What's going on? And the more I looked into it, the more I started to see, well, hey, we got Kenya over here in this eastern part of Africa, near Yemen, and if I zoomed in a little bit, Somalia is right over here. But let's just forget that association real quick. Let's just remember Kenya's right here, and what's right next to Kenya? Uganda. So, I hate to be repetitive, but I know I've said this before. What's going on over there in Uganda is we got $13 trillion of gold just dug up, or at least that's what they expect to be able to find. I'm not sure how they estimate that, but at least what they're advertising is $13 trillion of gold. It's going to change the face of mining as we know it today. And you know everybody in the world is wanting to get their hands on that $13 trillion of gold right now. So that's really no surprise. But who are those other people that want to get their hands on that $13 trillion of gold? Well, uh, if you look Russia and Africa up real quickly, you get a lot of results really quick. But I like to go to this Atlantic Council because that's kind of one of those Illuminati type of references. I try to keep up with all the Illuminati type of references here. The Atlantic Council. We want to know about Russia's influence in Africa, and see though they write about it as a security perspective. So, that tells you right there they're threatened. It's a security perspective. So, they know there's money to be made, and if you go to Reuters here, which is supposed to be our reliable resource, um, we see here that Putin to BRICS, which is the Brazil, Russia, India, China, Saudi Arabia, I think, alliance. Russia is a reliable partner for Africa on food and fuel supplies. So, you know, we're getting the message here that Africa and Russia have some partnership. That's pretty easy to figure out. You can look at a lot of different references and you'll find that out real quick. So, uh, well, what does that mean to us? Well, we're over there trying to, put our military headquarters there in the name of peace and prosperity, and that's what we're, aim to do, and I'm sure we'll be able to achieve that goal. However, the eventual fallout of that is going to be those corporations that are vying for the profit in the region to end up, wanting to spend more money on the security forces to establish that, and you know who's got the bigger stake in the game over there? Because you know we say we're over there to try to make this industrial revolution happen between Africa and the Middle East and Europe, but we want to exclude Russia out of the deal, of course. But China's been working on this massive Belt and Road Initiative since at least I believe 2013, 2015. Yeah, 2015. This is not a new phenomenon. China, we want to build a high-speed rail between China and because some investors want to build a high-speed rail between China and Europe. I guess I could pull that up on the map over here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Um, we, we're talking about building a high-speed rail between China, and I'm not sure exactly where it would originate from. I'm sure it would be a major metropolitan area like Seoul or I mean not Seoul, but excuse me, that's Korea. But uh, it's funny because as soon as you want to zoom in and look, there's Wuhan right there. That one pops up right away. Anyways, so you know, look at all this land. Look at all this land. We got to traverse all these different countries and all this different land between China through the Middle East, through Turkey and this country, or I believe the route that they're going to take is through Kazakhstan and Ukraine into Europe, because this is not a viable area to run rail lines. But so this plan has been in long plan for a while, and we had a guy over here not too long ago who was talking about, well, hey, we need to bring some manufacturing back home, so we got something to provide for this revolution that's about to happen over here in the rest of the world. And yet, they couldn't let this guy have a say so because he was ruining some bigger plans somewhere else. And in the meantime, these private security companies have grown up, and they're going to protect this building of this infrastructure. The United States Navy and the United States Marines, we're not being contracted to do the work that we've been contracted to do for these many years, and this is hitting our bottom line. And then this is just no good. We really need to put our emphasis that we are the ones in control of this transformation taking happen. We already got countries like Saudi Arabia over here um, messing with the oil price, and we really can't have these other countries taking over our dominance in that field. So, but the really problem we have over here is these anti-American Democrats. They want to weaken the American image, and they say that Russia could interfere in our elections. They say that our democracy is so weak and that the Russian interference is so robust that our poor little democracy can be affected by mere little Russian propaganda. Well, we know that Russian news is already propaganda, so I don't think that Russian propaganda can hurt our democracy as much as they want. They seem to sit here and think on one cheek that all that Russian news is propaganda, and yet they think we're too stupid to figure it out for ourselves, so that's going to mess with our democracy. But, those same people, those rich white folks who's living on the beachfront communities in the coastal regions, they're saying, well, hey, hold on. Um, these rich white communities are the ones that are most likely to oppose the wind farms are supposed to provide this cheap power to poor folks. You know what? I heard those wind farms take a lot of money and they take a lot of resource. They cost a lot of money to produce. I don't believe they produce any power for any poor folks, and I don't believe they produce any savings for those poor folks' power. So, I'd say those rich folks who want to have their wind farms and their coastal communities, they ought to just pay for them all by themselves. They don't need any taxpayer subsidies to say they're doing something good to save the earth. They can get that feeling that they're saving the earth all by themselves, and say that they're doing that good job, and they can put their money where their mouth is and say, hey, I'm doing a good thing. And I'd like to say that's all I got to say. This is Lance Sistney. Thank you for joining me. Having a good night. This is LSTV. Thank you for joining.